Hi, good morning. I'm talking with Ellen Kornfeld today. Ellen is a narrative therapist, a nutritional and food coach. Hi, Ellen. How are you?
Good morning, Joanne. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
Ellen, you always hear people say you need to eat right. What does it mean to say you need to eat right, and why is eating right so important?
That's a very big question. Perhaps let's just sit with something for a minute. Where do we learn this thing called eating or eating right? Where does it come from? So I think when I would give workshops, a very big appeal for people to come and work with me. And these were not simple workshops. This is 4 hours. It's like being on stage. I think I became more aware of what not right eating was by talking to people. When we would talk about, do you gather the family? Are there regular meals? Do you note how you feel after you eat? Both not so good and good. Stories about food would come out, and I always would give an introduction. I have an incredible kitchen with jars of every bean and every grain and nuts and seeds. And people would gather around me, and they'd be in awe most of the time. Okay, they might know what a brown rice is or a chickpea, but they had no concept what real food, like whole foods, were. As I would talk about this and talk about what they do for you, how they make you feel, more of their stories would come out about their eating and how they feel after what they eat, like cookies for breakfast, coffee with sugar and milk, and so eating right is eating regularly, listening to your body. Why am I tired? Why does my head hurt? Why don't I have energy? Listening how you feel after you eat, respecting your body and eating regularly, the way you eat. Are you on the run? Are you gathering? What happens when you eat? It's not only what you eat, it's how you eat it and in what mood. We've all eaten on the run or eaten when we're stressed or something's upsetting us. What happens? We get a stomachache. How many of us think for a minute and say, I'm not taking care of myself? So when I gave a workshop or when I sit with somebody to give them more instruction and we take a look at what they eat, there's a whole world that opens up. So this phrase eating right is not so simple for me just to say, well, this is eating right. Okay.
No, that's great. Another question a lot of us hear about is obviously the importance of drinking water. And everybody's got a different viewpoint. In your viewpoint, how much water should an adult be drinking a day?
Okay, so let's look at what water does for us. It has a few purposes. We take it in, it distributes all the nutrients that are in our body, and it's broadcasting it all over your body for good use. And the opposite, the waste that need to be carried out of your body are also carried out by water. So we would say that water is an important element in our diet. It matters where you live. If you live in hotter climates, you need to drink more water. And we shouldn't think because it's winter and we're not thirsty. We can't always rely on that hypothalamus to remind us, you're thirsty, you need to drink. You need to drink regularly. I know when I started to make an effort to drink a liter, liter and a half a day of water, I felt the difference. I felt more energy. I felt like things were moving in my body. So I never leave home without my water bottle. And I remind myself to drink. I don't wait for thirst to come because it just might not. I will say that it's not good to drink when you eat because it dilutes the digestive juices. So you're kind of kicking yourself in the foot a little bit. You're not helping yourself digest. So you also shouldn't drink. Well, it depends. For an hour, sometimes 2 hours after a meal. So you can say, when can I drink? So you have to be more conscious of it, especially if you feel like you're not digesting all that good food, I hope, that you're eating. So I start drinking in the morning. I do not drink water for at least an hour, hour and a half after I eat a meal. But every other place possible, I drink water. So that's a little about water.
Excellent. Very, very interesting. Thank you so much. Another thing is, how do I make healthy eating fun for my children?
It's just a great question. As a matter of fact, next week I'm giving a seminar that's called the dinner hour. But it's not like how to go in and cook. It's not called dinner time. It's called dinner hour. What are the possibilities that we can bring to our young children and our older children, us as a family, when there's something called regular meals, when there's something called dinner hour? Let's go before we eat. How can we talk about what you'd like to eat? How can we bring kids in the kitchen, no matter if they make a mess, maybe bringing in a smaller table or putting them on a chair that's safe for them, giving them a plastic knife, giving them an onion, giving them garlic, letting them work with you. Because, when people prepare, they're more apt to try it. So first off is creating an environment in the kitchen that we're excited about eating, we're excited about preparing, not just going to the store and buying prepared food. There are colors. Your kids can start to learn colors. The carrots, what color, and this from day one. Now, bread. So I happen to bake all my bread. Who needs Play-Doh? You get them there with these little junior-size rolling pins and give them that piece of dough, and they're doing it. So you're creating a fun place around food. You're not creating a negative place. We're trying to create good, healthier food. That's not so easy. But if we have a little bit of variety around the table, we have a protein, we have a grain, we have a steamed vegetable, we have fresh vegetables, get them going with vegetables, fresh vegetables, at dinner time or in their lunch bag. Giving them different options, and not just the cookie out of the bag because they won't eat anything else. Don't be afraid when they refuse. Create a happy place with the food. Now the same thing goes when we bring it to the table. Have them help set the table. Okay, the fork's on the wrong side, let the experts say. Let them help bring the food to the table. And how do we eat? Is the TV on? Are we answering our cell phones? Are we bringing negative conversations in? How can we create more of a place that's safe and fun? And then we can move right into after dinner. Everybody can go do their thing, but let's all help. Why should you feel resentful that you've got your hands in the sink when everybody created. So there's a lot of work to do about dinner hour, and we can do this at other times of the day too. You know, I can discuss with somebody breakfast and the challenges, or what goes in the lunch, or how to encourage instead of always saying no. And I raised a large family, so I know it's not easy. You need support, you need encouragement, and you need knowledge also to do it. But I encourage to stick with it. The kids will act out. They will use their money and go buy the worst junk. But when you know in the house you're moving in the right direction and they're getting good food and they're feeling good about it, it's not, oh gosh, what is she serving tonight? But rather, what are we making tonight? You know? And it's a process. It's not overnight.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.